Hello and welcome to Tampa Bay Right Now. This program is dedicated to addressing important issues in the Bay Area, promoting awareness and providing you, the community, with information and resources needed to find solutions to these issues. Hi, I'm Allison Burns, and today we are preparing for hurricane season. The current season is in full swing, and we need to be ready. Joining me first is Dan Noah, who is a warning coordinator meteorologist for the National Weather Service here in Tampa Bay. Dan, welcome.
Thank you, Allison.
So Dan, tell us, what do you do? What is it that this title does?
Well, our office, which is in Ruskin, a little bit south of here, we take the big picture from the National Hurricane Center, the Storm Prediction Center, the River Forecast Center, and we paint the small-scale details county by county for West Central and Southwest Florida.
Okay, so a lot of work. A lot of behind-the-scenes work, you said.
Right, and you know, our forecasts and warnings don't mean anything if people don't hear them, or if they hear it, they don't know what to do.
Right.
So our main partners in the warning process is emergency management and the broadcast and print media.
Okay. Well, I know, like, for instance, I was watching TV last night, and an EAS came on the screen. It said this is a warning. Is that something that you do, that you're in charge of, is those warnings?
Yeah, the tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, they can activate the emergency alert system.
Okay.
And it's important to get your warning information from multiple sources in case one source fails.
Okay. So let's talk hurricanes. What type of weather causes hurricanes?
Well, hurricanes develop because there's an imbalance in the atmosphere. And so you have all this excess heat down by the tropics, and Mother Nature doesn't like an imbalance. So she develops a hurricane to take that heat and transport it to the north and to kind of balance things out on a global scale.
Okay, and so that's what causes that severe weather that can eventually turn into the hurricanes.
Yes.
So us in the Bay Area, what are some weather signs that we need to look for that may, tell us, oh, hurricane may be in the area?
Well, it's interesting. In June and July, most of our hurricanes and tropical storms form in the Caribbean, so you're not going to get that 7 to 10 days of notice that something's out there and something's coming our way. In 2007, Tropical Storm Barry formed in the Caribbean and made landfall in the Tampa Bay area in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So people only had 2 days of notice for that storm.
Yeah. So it forms out in the ocean first. So that's why we get notice, unlike tornadoes that can just appear, correct?
Right, and tornadoes are very small scale, and hurricanes can be the size of the state of Florida.
Oh, okay. So what are the differences in the types of storms that may come through the area?
Well, the generic term for tropical storms and hurricanes is a tropical cyclone.
Okay.
And then if we see some rotation out there, say in the Atlantic, and it's less than 39 miles an hour, we call that a tropical depression. Once it hits 39 miles an hour, we give it a name, and we call it a tropical storm. And it hits 74 miles an hour, sustained winds with higher gusts, we call it a hurricane.
Okay, and then there's levels of hurricanes from that, right? I know they go from like 1 to, is it up to 5?
You bet.
5 being the worst, obviously.
And every time you go up a category in hurricane strength, you're quadrupling the damage. Oof. So if you go from a 1 to a 3, the 3 will actually have 16 times more damage than a 1. Oh,
wow. And can that happen pretty quickly? Can it go from like 1 to 5 pretty quickly, or is it something that you can see coming?
Well, 2004, Hurricane Charlie was a Category 2 offshore, and within 6 hours, it went to a Category 4 at landfall.
That's insane.
So we're getting much better at forecasting the track of hurricanes.
Right.
We haven't improved our skill in forecasting the intensity.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What are some advancements that are being made by meteorologists in the community? Is there stuff that is always coming up new and kind of helping you guys predict things like this?
I brought an animation with me.
Oh.
And if you look at this animation, that skinny black line you see on TV, you never want to follow that and make decisions based on that perfect forecast, because we know those forecasts aren't going to be perfect.
Right.
So what we do is we run hundreds of realistic scenarios based off that perfect forecast, based on climatology and average error. And so we'll get maybe 800 different solutions of where that hurricane might go, and we develop probabilities of what's your chance of getting hurricane force winds, what's your chance of getting 5 feet of surge. And that's a much better way to make decisions. We didn't have it in 2004. We have it now, and that's how we communicate with emergency management.
Right. So I know when I watch TV and I see all these warnings, there's that cone. that you see, and you're like, oh, I might be right outside the cone. But what you're saying is that can change at any time.
Well, the thing I don't like about that cone is it only tells you where the center of the storm is going to be. It doesn't tell you how big the eye wall is or how big that storm is.
Right.
So that's why you'll oftentimes see the warning extend outside of that cone.
Okay. And so being the public, and we're watching these, storms that affect different places around the area, what may we be surprised to learn about these storms? Is it something where, oh, I'll be fine, I can sit back, it's just a little bad weather? What might surprise us about how powerful these storms might be?
Before Hurricane Katrina, it was the inland flooding that was killing more people in hurricanes than anything else, the freshwater flooding. But Katrina came along, killed over 1,200 people. It's storm surge. If you live in a storm surge evacuation zone and you are asked to leave, you've had hundreds of people that came up to find that decision, and you don't have to know anything else about the storm, but if your local officials tell you to leave, just do so. If you don't, you're playing a dangerous game of weather roulette.
Right, so don't try to be a hero and stick by your stuff.
Right.
Kind of board stuff up and get out.
Leave.
Right, so everyone can be safe. All right, well, thank you so much for being here and for telling us a little about what to look for. And don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Pinellas County Communications Specialist, Tom Iovino.